up, everybody? Welcome back to another fresh episode of the Culture Crooks podcast. Like we promised, we're delivering more content on the weekly basis. And as you can see here, we got a new guest.
Punahele Soriano.
Yes, sir.
UFC former middleweight, now about to make his debut in the welterweight division.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on the show, bro.
Sure.
Fill
us in. Fill us in.
Fill us in. Coming down to 170. Is this your first fight?
I haven't been 170 since I was in high school. Since I was a senior in high school. But I feel good, man. I feel like I always thought I was a big guy, but I wasn't. I was just eating all-you-can-eat sushi every day, and that's why I was fighting at middleweight.
And what was it that made you decide like you wanted to come down to 170? Was it based on how you were feeling against other middleweights who maybe were a little bigger, walking around bigger, or was it just something that you just felt it was the right time,
For sure. Like mainly in the practice room, I'm getting beat up by I'm 190 walking around, and Sean and these guys are like 215, 220. Like I'm getting crushed by these guys. They're huge.
Yeah. And believe it or not, those extra 10, 15 pounds is a lot of weight.
It is. It really is.
It's a lot of weight because, dudes hit harder, obviously, wrestle, they're much stronger. And, I definitely feel it training at extreme because I feel like, I'm in the wallet. I'm the smaller weight class in the group.
Yeah.
So it's 70, 85, 205 and heavyweights, but...
No, it definitely makes a big difference. It
makes all the difference.
For sure. I mean, even for me coming off of an injury, I blew up a little bit in weight, got up to 215 and coming back in. And I know obviously what it felt like being, 190, 185. And I can feel the difference what it was like, getting hit by bigger guys and how much more of a cushion I have than when you're at a lighter weight. It's almost kind of like an armor when you have extra muscle mass and weight.
Plus, there's some dudes that are actually... we'll say like for per se Robert Whitaker, who was actually used to fight at welterweight and then move up and actually does better. There's a few
you don't have
dudes
to cut as much weight.
There's a few dudes like that are able to go back and forth
for sure
from 70 to
everybody. That's the unique thing with our sport. Everybody is different, right? So
totally.
It's like some things work for other people. Some people like to stay light. Some people like to come in heavy and cut all that weight, so they have like that weight advantage. So everyone's style, everyone's kind of preferences is all different on as a fighter.
So how has the weight cut been, and how has it affected training, if any, at all?
I actually feel only benefits from it. Like I feel better. I've got more energy. I still feel strong. I feel faster. I'm lighter. But the diet's been good. It was hard at first. Like I used to, like I said, eat whatever I wanted, like sushi, ice cream, whatever. But kind of breaking that cycle was tough, honestly. But now that I'm past it, like I don't really have cravings. Sticking to just like proteins, fats, and it's really all I eat.
Do you feel now, like before you're obviously indulging and enjoying yourself more, but now that you've kind of refined your diet and dialed it in, do you feel maybe you're even potentially performing better than you were?
Yeah, totally.
And recovering better?
100%. And I'm not so sore. Like I thought I was just sore every day from MMA. Like it's just MMA. I'm so beat up, but I'm just inflamed 24/7.
Yeah, that's true. I have been looking into that a lot recently. Actually, like cleaning up your diet could actually reduce inflammation. I think we were like looking at something like a meat and eggs diet or something like that.
Carnivore.
Carnivore diet reduces inflammation.
Yeah, I've been doing that. I've been like big on diet for a long time. Even fighting at 170 as an amateur. And I've fought at 185. Just the weight cut portion of my career was very important because I just never wanted to like feel like I was dying cutting weight, because I've seen guys, as we all have as fans of the sport, and it's like if you don't do it the right way, it can literally feel like you're on your deathbed. So for me, diet was important, and performance and feeling good, and man, it makes all the difference. Like I can tell you, I mean, all three of us, we can go and have a pizza, eat some wings, and then feel great, sleep like a baby, come in and train. But the recovery that we have from that meal after that session is going to be way slower than if we were eating like some boiled chicken, some vegetables, and some fruit. You know what I mean? So it makes a big difference. And I'm going to say it again. The majority of foods out there are out to get us. They're not there to help us, it seems like. It's harder to be healthy. You got to be like in the jungles or maybe on the islands, like getting some real clean stuff.
You can't eat shit nowadays, bro.
Yeah, it's all poison.
It's all... It's all cancer, bro. It's all cancer.
It's so scary.
It's super scary, and it's like, and it makes it hard and challenging.
Yeah.
You know.
So tell us a little bit about what got you into MMA and what got you started.
So
just in case people don't know, you're from Hawaii,
Yeah.
Hawaii, which I'd recently traveled. We'll get into that later.
Yes, sir.
For now, let's hear the origins. People want to know, how you came up in the sport.
So I was always a big fan. My family grew up watching it. No one ever did any sort of martial arts or anything, so everyone just like, I don't know, said whatever they wanted about it, and had their own opinions. But just big fan. Wrestled in high school, wrestled in college. Came home and I just got super fat. I was like 240, not doing anything with my life.
Wow.
Yeah, and Dan Ige invited me to the gym.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, I started going on like wrestling days only. Then eventually I'd go to like the striking days and I'd just get pieced up like every day. But I fell in love and I started going every single day. Then I took a fight and so on and so forth.
Were you in Hawaii when you first started?
Yeah.
Okay, so Danny Ige is from Hawaii as well?
Yeah,
That's so
we went to high school and stuff together.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
That's really
sick.
cool. So you guys went for the same high school.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
he kind of like brought you in under his wing. Was like, come train, like get into it.
We have like an extensive sick kind of story. So like we went to the same high school, we went to the same college for a little bit. He left a little early to pursue MMA and then kind of built like the background for it and like the foundation. And then I just kind of tagged along after that. So it was super nice and easy.
Was he the first person to plug you into coming to Vegas, coming to Extreme Couture?
Yeah. I tagged along with that too. So he came a year before me. And I just wanted to come through. I had no clue what I was doing. I think I was like a 1-0 pro and just came on a whim.
Yeah, so how was the MMA culture in Hawaii? I would imagine, BJ Penn and a pioneer, and now Max Holloway being a major influence in Hawaii MMA culture.
Yeah, it's crazy. Before I even thought about fighting, I was a big fan of Max and obviously BJ, but I didn't even know me and Max were like the same age when I was in college and stuff. I was just watching this guy fight. I'm like, oh, this guy's like a grown man. He's a beast. But it's just kind of cool that like now we're kind of like colleagues and whatever. But yeah, man, the culture there is crazy. Like everyone fights there. Like no matter what, if you're a nice guy, you just always fight in Hawaii.
I've seen some street fight videos from Hawaii, and dudes looking.
They can all scrap.
Yeah. It's looking pretty brutal over
good
there.
Technique and like
actually good technique.
If you guys have good hands and like they're defending and blocking, you're like, okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, so I recently went to the island of Oahu, and I was only there for a couple of days. Got to experience a little bit of the culture, the food, which is amazing.
Oh, insane.
And did that Stairway to Heaven.
I saw that,
which is like probably the top 2 like toughest hikes I've ever been on, bro. It's like we didn't actually take the stairs since it was like blocked off or whatever, but we went like through the back way and ended up being like a 5-hour.
I don't know how you went that way.
5-hour journey, bro.
that way is
the
tough.
thing is the group of guys that I went with are all experienced hikers. So like me being the only pro athlete in there, I was just like trying to like keep up with them, and that's what kind of helped me go. I was like, man, I can't let these fucking guys beat me, bro. But we were all dying, and good thing we all brought water and snacks and shit, because by the end of it, I was like dehydrated as hell.
Bro,
The weather out there is
humid.
Yeah, but luckily we went there when we got there like at 6 in the morning.
Yeah,
6
it wasn't like the hottest time.
So we beat the heat. But I remember on the way down, and it was starting to beam on us. I'm like, bro, if we would have tried to come up here when that sun was really hot, when it was hot,
like midday,
and then we were passing people going up. I'm like, man, those fucking people are crazy. You're gonna die. You're gonna die up there. But
that's dope. And I just also recently visited as well. End of last year in December, went for a couple nights. Didn't do the hike, but you got to see the North Shore and spend some time in the water and get a taste of Hawaii, which was cool. I do plan on hopefully go out, maybe do a boys trip, head out there and spend some time. We can train out there too, be kind of cool. But yeah, no, Hawaii was a good time, and again, it's one of those things where they call Vegas what do they call it?
The ninth island.
Ninth island,
Yeah.
So you see obviously a lot of Hawaiian culture in Vegas.
I noticed that, bro.
Yeah, a lot
even
of,
at the gym. Even at
yes,
the gym.
of course.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, a lot of restaurants, a lot of people, a lot of fighters. You know, they're like, yo, Vegas is like our connection. Because I was telling Puna earlier like how convenient the flight is. It's like an overnight flight.
Yeah.
You just sleep your way, wake up, you're in the morning there. So yeah, it's cool. It was a nice experience, and it's nice to just kind of have like not too far away. So it was dope. But so you moved to Vegas how long ago?
Shoot, maybe 6 or 7 years now, something like that.
So yeah, you've done a pretty
Decent
solid shift here. I've been here a little over 4 years.
Nice.
So
Wow.
you consider Vegas home, right?
Yeah, when I leave and like when I'm coming back, I'm like, thank God I'm back home. You know, like it
for
feels
sure.
good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, Vegas has definitely become a second home for me. I definitely plan to be here at like all my fight camps. You
Hell
know,
yeah.
it's so convenient. You got the PI,
everything you need.
you got Extreme Couture just
Highest level.
loaded.
Good
Yeah,
bodies,
highest level.
always coming in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I first came to Vegas, that's the one thing I noticed is there were so many bodies to work with, and me being from LA, I was like, man, you know, there's nothing like that. There's nothing like it in LA.
Yeah,
you know? They need to make a PI in LA. But, yeah, I heard
It's too
that.
close.
Yeah, yeah.
No, you know, the interesting thing, and I'm sure you've also felt it when you're in Thailand, is you know how there's always just people coming, you know, through holidays,
Yeah.
training rooms. Same kind of principle here in Vegas. Not so much necessarily for holidays, but when fighters are coming through, it's usually they're in other guys' camps or they're cornering homies, and they're like, oh, I want to train for a week, and then they jump in, and then you get that look, oh shit, this guy's, you know, Eblin was in town. It's like you get so many guys that are just coming in and trying to get the work, and yeah, it's a good ass place to be, especially if you're trying to be fighting at the highest level, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that's the good thing about it is having so many monsters in the gym. It's like every day I show up, I have to bring my A game.
yeah,
you
there's
know,
there's no easy rounds. You
Yeah.
know, there's like no one you can really coast with. You know, you got to be on guard because you're gonna get cracked.
Yeah,
So-
which is tough at first, you know, but once you get
It's still tough.
It's
still tough.
It's tough, you know. But it kind of gives me the opportunity to kind of better manage my week.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, okay, like certain days, like on wrestling days, I go hard on the wrestling, and then the rest of the day is kind of like just functional, and
Recovery. Yeah.
recovery.
I mean,
stuff,
at this,
you know?
I mean, that's the thing. Like, obviously, when you're young, you know, under probably the age of 28 or even 30, your recovery is fast. Like we all went there, our recovery was fast as fuck. But now when you're starting to get a little bit older, you've been there a little bit longer, shit just starts to add up, you know, and it just takes a little bit longer to recover from. And it's just, we're getting there, you know. It's just what we do isn't easy on the body. So the more you put into your recovery, the longer your career is going to be, less injuries you're going to have. I think we all know how to fight. It's now just like keeping our bodies closest to 100% when we go into battle, you know. And I've always, in my mind, when I go into a fight, it's like, if I get through a camp and I feel like as close to 100% as I do, I'm like, let's go guns to the wall.
Yeah,
like, I don't even give a fuck. It's like, if I'm broken afterwards, I'm broken.
I think what's important for recovery and recovery days is to have like a hobby or some shit. Do you have any kind of hobbies that you do that to keep you kind of not like maybe active recovery or like just to keep your mind off, get your mind off the fight game for a little while?
For sure. I got 3 dogs, and like if I'm not at the gym, I'm with them in the mountains. Just always going on hikes, walking with them. Like for me, it's the best thing.
Yeah, dogs require a lot of attention, a lot of going outside and doing stuff with them. I have a dog myself, which he's back in California, but whenever I go back, I make sure to take him out and take him on a run, you know, because nobody gonna go take him out there and run like I'm gonna take him, you know. And definitely hikes is one of like something I truly enjoy. Like this guy will tell you, every Sunday I'm up in Mount Charleston.
Oh, nice! I didn't know that. Nice.
Yeah, every Sunday I'm out there.
Yeah,
you
he
know,
likes.
last week it was.
Yeah, cutting a blurry, right?
Yeah. Last time a little lizard.
Got attacked by a horse.
Yeah,
Really?
not attacked, but there's wild horses up there, bro. I'm like, I don't trust them. Like, you know, they're wild.
They
animals,
look
bro.
chill as fuck, but if they were to bite you,
bro.
you're fucked.
Oh, for sure.
You know, shit's gonna break. Like if they bite you once. But no, that's one of the benefits, or one of the things that I love most. I'm sure both of these guys will relate to it, is how close such awesome trails and mountains and scenery there is in Vegas. Within 30 minutes, you're at 7,000
Have you been to that Red Rock?
Yeah.
I've been there a few times, but it's more like of a slow pace, kind of hikes for me. Like I like
chill.
Yeah,
I like
same.
running and shit.
Yeah. No, yeah. The last time we went up there, you know, we indulged in a little bit of mushrooms. It's always a good time, you know, walking up there with good
now,
weather.
I did some mushrooms when I went up there this last time, but
it didn't work.
The first time ever, nothing happened.
Had some duds.
Oh, that's the worst feeling. You just
I was
waiting for
excited
it.
too. Yeah.
Not
Dude,
sure.
so I'm just walking, waiting till it starts feeling like, okay, cool. Like, this looks awesome now. And then when the snow started coming out, I'm like, man, this would be so sick if I was on mushrooms. Like, it would be cool.
Yeah,
but nothing ever happened. I was a little bit disappointed, but still got the workout in.
Yeah, no, you definitely got that work when it go up. But I've had that personally in an experience, but not with mushrooms, with acid. And it was one of those where I thought, oh, it was a dud, and then it like decided to kick in 5 hours later. Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was not ready for this. Like,
yeah, I mean, two hours into the hike, I'm like, you know what, this shit's not gonna. It's not gonna. It would have came in by now. So yeah, tell us a little bit about when you're fighting your matchup.
Yeah. I got a guy named Miguel Beza, June 8th. He's a stud. Before I made the decision to go to welterweight, I was like into this guy. I thought he was a good fighter. I'm excited to throw some leather with him.
Yeah.
Where is that fight?
Kentucky.
Oh, very
KFC
cool.
Center. Yeah.
Very cool. Kentucky Fried
KFC
Chicken,
bowls.
KFC Center.
Yeah,
There we go. There we go. Who else is on that card?
You know what?
think I saw
There's a
something
ton of
announced
fighters
for
from
it.
the gym
Yeah.
type fighting June.
Yes, all you guys.
I
Yeah.
think Roman just got on there with Michelle.
That's the one I
Pierre.
saw.
That's a crazy
That's
one.
the fight they announced.
Two guys
I sent
training
that
at
to you.
Extreme.
Roman
Wait, those guys are
Dolidze
fighting?
and Michelle.
Yeah,
Pereira.
just announced.
That's weird.
I sent it to
Super.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
Super weird.
That's a crazy matchup. But it makes sense as Pereira has just been kind of running through everybody, which is wild.
Crazy that he's at 170. He's a monster.
Yeah, he's
so
a big dude.
Yeah, he is. And yeah, he's got like what 3-4 fights now, and
short
like
time.
very short minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, like every fight seems to last like a minute max.
Yeah, I remember after his last fight, they were saying they need to throw him some better competition.
I was worried about in his last fight because I thought maybe they were going to potentially DQ him because of that backflip knee thing.
He had to do some crazy shit.
Like to go to do that and then finish by guillotine is just so wild. Like
it's just like crazy to just like for that thought process. It's like, oh shit, he's down.
Backflip.
Oh shit, he's down.
This is the best move.
to north south, backflip to north south. I mean, if you'd like backflip to north south and got him with like a north south choke, I would have been like, whoa. But like the fact that like you got him with the guillotine, and
It's just so wild,
him,
bro.
yeah, it's just like
so wild.
He's like a tornado, and you're just like, and then next thing you know,
Yeah.
you're asleep. But yeah, that's gonna be definitely an interesting matchup. I'm kind of pumped. I didn't even know there was in Kentucky KFC.
Yeah,
like they would have
yeah.
hyped the shit out of that.
Bro.
Yeah,
That's
Pereira's
really
one of those guys where like he shows up fight day. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because I sparred
yeah.
him a bunch of times. I'm like, no way, bro.
Like takes his time. He's
Yeah. And then
Right.
come fight, he looks like a totally different fighter.
Yeah, we hear that a lot about different fighters. Like necessarily don't do so well in the gym, but when they come to fight night, they get done, and that's all that matters. So we definitely have heard some. I've heard from myself saying, oh, you know, Michelle Pereira, you know, I don't know how he's getting it done in the gym,
That
but
power,
when
bro.
it comes,
he might be holding back.
Yeah.
of course,
In the gym for all we know.
for sure, he's not trying to kill people, right? Trying to get work.
Yeah.
So no, that's awesome to see. You know, it seems to be working for him. It's funny because I was telling D-Rod, I fought on the Asian scene, so I was fighting in Korea, and so was Michelle Pereira.
Okay.
And there was a time, I don't know if you remember,
You know, I saw one of the fights where he fought the fat
like
dude.
a fat Korean dude, and
I
he's just like
remember
running
that,
around
yeah.
doing backflips,
Yeah.
just like literally the most insane thing I've ever seen in an MMA fight. And he was just like literally doing it on the same cards. So I was like, and his record at the time was quite similar to it is now. Like he's like 30-11, I think, or 31-11. At that time, maybe he was like 20 or 19 and like 7. I was like, man, he has so much experience. He was young and just like being super wild. I was like, wouldn't be surprised if see him in the UFC soon, you know? And then poof, comes in at 170. And, you know, he had some crazy fights even at 170, losing to a 45er.
I still remember it. I still remember his debut. I remember being backstage with Cowboy. I think it was for the Justin Gaethje versus
Canada fight.
Yeah, Canada. And he's backstage doing flips and all that
Dancing,
shit.
did a whole crazy, got gassed
breakdancing.
before he even got in the
Yeah.
cage, and then a 45er beat him. It was wild, yeah. But he learned from that obviously,
For
and
sure.
has done really well since. But you know he's got some viral everywhere he fights. He's viral. Remember he was slapping the one guy,
Yeah,
open
yeah.
hand
Oh, yeah.
slapping him.
He's
like
like-
waving it, and like he's definitely like made quite the impact. So yeah, it's funny to see and to see like such a wild wild card is a good way to explain him. You just don't know what to expect from him. And he's doing his thing. I remember my dad's always told me, fighting, just be as unpredictable as possible. No one's gonna see it coming, and that dude does it to a T. Like no one knows what the fuck's coming. So
probably not even him.
For real, he's like someone's button bashing his controller, and he's just like wilding out and then pulling it off. But yes, speaking of the fights, we got a pretty stacked card coming up this weekend.
St. Louis.
UFC. It's cool to see the fight nights now going to cities, traveling around.
I mean,
thank God.
Sick of the Apex, right?
Get out of there.
Yeah, get out of there. Stop saving money. Let us go travel.
I was a little surprised and disappointed after COVID how they kept having events
for longer than we thought they should have.
Yeah, but I guess
we all know why. They're saving money.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, at least they're putting off shows.
I mean,
doesn't benefit
UFC
us.
just is like the top of the heap in the combat sports right now.
By far.
Surpassed boxing, definitely.
Yeah.
As far as consistency.
Mainstream.
And you know what I love about the UFC compared to boxing? It's like they make the top fighters fight each other. There's no ducking and dodging.
Even at the beginning of like their UFC career.
Procrastinate. Like, I mean, unless you're Conor McGregor, then, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at it. Arman versus Islam. That was Arman's first fight, and now they're going to be fighting for a title. You know, there's no bullshit in the UFC. Like, you're going to fight the best guys. Unless, like you said, you're a guy like Conor McGregor or Sean O'Malley where they can find the matchup, bring in the money.
Yeah.
But even it doesn't matter. McGregor had to come in and work his way in just like everybody else.
True.
You know, so it's the realist in that regard. Boxing, it's like you're fighting Ken, so you get to 20-0. Then you fight a couple guys who just kind of like were title eliminators to build it, and then it's like there's the massive fight, and then that determines who you are. And it's like after like a 10-year career.
That's long. That's a long process.
It's super long. And if you have one bad night,
it's for nothing.
Your career's like
boxing is such an unforgiving sport, bro.
Even more so.
Yeah, I mean, let's say for instance, Devin Haney just took a loss. Now, like you take a loss in boxing, all of a sudden
your career trajectory
over.
Goes completely opposite direction. Like, bro, Lomachenko, he actually lost his pro debut, which was kind of insane. Still, you know, he was still able to do what he did, but it's not the same like a Triple G.
I guess like boxing is different in that regard to where they're trying to protect their record. Mm-hmm. But in MMA, some of my favorite fighters have losses.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Dustin Poirier, Alex Pereira. Everybody
it's
has
obviously
losses,
very hard to stay undefeated, and it's amazing if you complete that, you know. But for the most part, in order to really grow as a fighter, you have to lose. You have to experience what it's like, and every one of us here have experienced and felt that. Exactly. So it's you know, the Khabibs, you know, and then as we know in this fight sport in MMA too, there are a lot of guys that get built to get to a certain stage, and then when they get put out against the tough guys, they crumble. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's like there are guys that can lose. I think Jack Della Maddalena lost the first 2 fights of his career, and he's like, I think 16 or 17 fights in a row. You know, so it's like there are guys that have lost 2 fights in a row and called it quits.
Yeah.
So fight game's a wild game, you know. What is going on, guys? We got the deal of the century for you guys with Aerial Reality. In the beautiful Dominican Republic, we have the beautiful Villa Bonita. It says it in the words itself. Absolutely beautiful villa in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, right on a resort golf course, right by the beach, on the water, the ultimate holiday destination. You can take a look at these pictures, these images. Don't you imagine seeing yourself and the homies, the family, the friends, everybody having a good time in the Dominican Republic, one of the cheapest places American tourists can go. Your money lasts you a long time, and plus, you're going to be living and dining and playing a lot of good golf and getting some sunshine. So here's the deal we offer for you guys. If you mention the Culture Crooks podcast in relation to booking a trip at Villa Bonita in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, if you book 4 nights, you will get 1 night for free. And if you book 8 nights, you will get 2 nights for free. So that's right. If you use Culture Crooks podcast, when making your booking, whether you need to contact them, you can use me or you can contact them directly. Let them know you are using the Culture Crooks podcast discount code, and you can get 1 free night if you book 4, and you can get 2 free nights if you book 8. So I don't know, that's a no-brainer. That sounds like an amazing deal. Definitely somewhere that we're trying to get out, maybe after this Saudi Arabia trip. So yeah, take a look. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly on social media. And yeah, it looks like an amazing experience. So jump at the chance. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. And if you have any questions, holler at your boy. Yeah, fight game's a wild game, and if you, yeah, it's so unpredictable and unforgiving, and you know it doesn't necessarily mean the end of your career if you lose a couple fights, but it can, you know. Just being able to just kind of stay along the course, like don't just drop everything, because coming back from everything is even harder. It's like just being consistent, I find, is the best way to be successful.
Yeah, bro. I think like for me, after my last loss, what kind of totally took the whole sting away is fucking Dana coming out and be like, yo,
That was sick.
yeah, like, you know,
Appreciating
got you
it.
down
Yeah.
on trip. Like, you know, you always show
Yeah.
up and shit like that. So that
That's
definitely, you know, for him to do that was definitely took the sting away a little bit. But,
For sure.
you know, everybody hates losing, bro.
No, losing sucks. I mean, even if
If you
I'm
don't, you're
losing,
in the wrong sport.
yeah, if I'm losing in video games, I'm about to throw that shit. So I can only imagine when it's like we're fighting in front of the people. It sucks. It sucks losing.
I think every time I've lost, I've cried, bro. I've cried.
Oh,
that shit.
easily 100. Even when I win,
bro.
I've cried.
bro. That shit hurts. Oh my god, dude, that fucker.
he doesn't do it in front of me for sure. He's definitely do it in the shower. Sitting under, that's where I do it. I'm sitting under the shower.
My last fight,
Just sitting
I remember.
Yes, like literally sitting. Sitting, you know, maybe your arms on your like knees a little bit.
Yeah.
This action, you know, but been there, dude. Been there. It's the worst.
Every time.
I was bawling in Eric's arms my last fight, just backstage, and like I just kind of peek open my eye, and I just see like a big camera like in my face. I'm like, oh, this is so embarrassing.
Fuck. No, man, it's good to be able to express your
Booger
emotions.
bubbles,
yeah.
like bloop.
Snot bubble.
straight up.
No,
Hey,
bro.
but you know what? We put a lot of fucking work into
Yeah.
this, a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of you know, just time in general and focus and yeah, we put our whole fucking life into this shit, you know, and when we take the loss,
Yeah.
really care about it, yeah, fucking shit stings, bro. So
Yeah, because in our minds, we're going in there to win. You know, we don't even have any thought of losing. So it's like,
no, that's the last thing I think about.
for sure. So it's like, it's the same thing when people, like regular people, have a goal and it's like doesn't come to fruition and they're gutted that it doesn't happen. The exact same thing. Maybe us is even worse because it's in a pressure situation in front of lots and lots of people.
High expectations, man. We
Yeah.
all got high
It's
expectations.
a gamble.
Yeah.
High
Yeah,
risk,
it
high
is.
reward,
Yeah.
you know, and
Probably the
vice
biggest.
versa.
And that's the
But-
beauty of it is like what we the work that we put into it is the outcome usually. What
You can get it. They can obtain it with your own hands. Like,
really
yeah,
can.
it's sick.
It's really
can.
like what you put into it, what you get out of it, you know. But at this level of the game, it's fucking a game of inches. Whoever
Millimeters.
makes the,
Yeah.
yeah, game of inches, and whoever makes the least mistakes, you know, comes out on top.
For sure. Sometimes a little bit of luck, sometimes a little bit of
yeah.
skill, sometimes a little bit of, you know, just life, bro. You know, the fight game is just like life.
Or the goddamn judges.
Oh, fuck. Been on that one way too many times. Fuck, that cat's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the judges as well. They also, there's so many variables, you know.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a tough one, but
You know what I hate when
wouldn't
people
change it.
say, "Don't leave it in the hands."
We're
Like
trying.
it's our choice. Like,
Yeah, we're really trying.
I'm trying.
Like
Bro, I
if you
hit
could
him like 100 times.
just
I
go
took
down.
my hardest
Just
job,
go
bro.
down, you know. But I can't tell you. Like, oh, you're not even trying to hit him. You're not even trying to knock him out. I'm like, bro, trust me. I promise you. I promise.
Or like when they're on top of you, they're like, "Get up!"
Just get up. Just get up.
I'm trying, bro. But
For
I'm
sure.
tired.
Bro, that for me is like the hardest when like you're exhausted and then another grown ass man who weighs just as much, if not more than you, is on top of you and knows exactly how to stay on top of you. Technically, you know, and they're just like, get up, like get back to full strike and go, and you're just like, bruh, you do get back and you're like, can't even keep your hands up, and they're just like, yeah, go do it. And you're like, the fuck, you know, like it just looks so easy on TV.
Yeah.
Even as me as a fan, I'm like, get up, motherfucker, and I'm like, wait a second, you know, it's a funny game, but wouldn't change it. Fucking love it.
No way.
Yeah, so we got UFC. We got Derek Lewis and Nacimiento headlining.
Ooh, I like the accent there.
Nacimiento,
There you go.
Hispanic, Latino dog. It's natural.
Yeah, that's the main event. We got Black Beast back at it. You remember his last win, that sick ass knockout. He threw like a flying knee.
But doesn't he have the most knockouts
History.
in history?
In history, UFC history, you got the most knockouts. So I have a feeling there could potentially be a knockout in that main event. I'm also interested in the co-main event. Joaquin Buckley, you guys are aware, welterweight, and then this new fella coming down from 185. Don't know his first name, but last name Ruzaboyev. He's from like Uzbekistan. Big ass dude. He's like 6'5". So that's
6'5".
6'5" at 170.
Buckley's a short dude.
Yeah, it's gonna be a interesting fight. This Ruzaboyev's come in and he's got like 2 quick first round finishes. Seems to be like he's got like 50 or 60 pro fights. So
That's a lot of experience. Bro.
a lot of experience, and he's like I think 30 or 28.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's like one of those
Dudes
guys.
like that, like
Trouble.
yeah,
They're
they're trouble too. But then they got a lot of miles on them, you know.
True. But yeah, we got Carlos Ulberg and Alonzo Menafield. Those are both 2 big knockout guys. So low key, St. Louis has some pretty big bangers. You got Terrence McKinney.
Alex Caceres versus Sean Woodson. I know Sean Woodson from. He's
sick.
He's from St. Louis.
Nasty
Yes. Yeah, there's a
St.
bunch
Louis
of
sniper.
St. Louis
That's gonna be a
fighters.
good one right there.
Yeah, even I've also got my eyes on this Charles Johnson and Jake Hadley. Charles Johnson, another St. Louis guy. This guy Billy Goff is the one who beat Shimon for the title contender series.
I remember
And
that
this
fight.
is his first fight, I believe,
Really?
in the UFC.
It's been a while.
Yeah, so it'll be definitely some good fights there. So you guys definitely got to tune in. I like this Chase Hooper versus Vladislav Borishev. Honestly, guys, our homie Jordan fought Chase Hooper, and I thought Jordan was going to run right through him. Wasn't the case. Jordan decided to play the jiu-jitsu game with him. I don't think that's going to be the case with Borishev. I think Borishev's a very, very nasty kickboxer with a lot of wrestling from Team Alpha Male. So I'm going to go with Borishev here as my pick of the card. Maybe you guys can hit me up in the DMs for some more picks for this card, but I'm liking that as my pick of the week, going with Vladislav.
Nice. And anybody placing bets, make sure you use wagernation.com. I don't have fucking one of those code things with my name on it, but just
Go Wager Nation.
Yeah, go Wager Nation if you want to
go.
play some bets.
Yeah, quick shout out to the supplement company. Need to build muscle. Make sure you get your grains in. Make sure you stay healthy.
Drink Monster.
Best in the business. Stay aware of the fakes in India. There are some companies I've said they're replicating our brand, trying to basically undercut us. So make sure if you have any questions, reach out. Appreciate you guys. And it was awesome having Puna come out.
Yep.
Plug
Like I
in.
said, make sure you drink Monster Athletes. Right.
sir.
Speaking of which, how you liking it, bro? I love Monster.
I love it. Their clothes are sick. I think their clothes are the best
Oh,
part.
man,
Their
yo.
clothes are so sick.
They have shit you can't even buy, bro.
Yeah, none of
I've
it's
been wearing shit you
available.
can't
Yeah,
even
you
buy.
can't
I got
purchase it.
I'm all stocked up with. I'm overstocked for the winter though.
It's the best.
I remember like years ago when I would see like Dominic Cruz like rocking the Monster socks and being like, where can I buy those? And you just can't. You know what I mean?
No, you
So
literally can't.
It's cool.
Yeah, and they got some pretty cool exclusive shit like,
Nice
like
and
shades.
comfortable. Yeah.
I mean,
all kinds
I
of
get
shit.
to see what he receives, and he definitely gets some cool. He even got lip balm. So I was like, Monster lip balm.
Monster chapstick, bro.
Yeah, I was like, that's dope. So no, it's definitely cool to see athletes that I know personally sponsored by Monster too. And
Yeah,
take
I mean,
a little bit of
Monster's like-
benefits.
In the UFC, you can't really have sponsors.
Yeah.
So like, and you can't wear your sponsors on
Your
the
shorts,
shorts and shit,
yeah.
which is like where a lot of fighters
Make
would be
money.
making a killing right now.
Yeah.
Imagine if they
So
still
much.
had that, bro. If we could
Everyone would be
rock
making money.
logos.
Yeah,
Even at least
That's
one.
that's like an extra 10,
especially on like a
15,
pay per
for
view.
sure.
20, depending on.
Guys are
Yeah,
making
yeah.
millions a fight on their ads. It's insane.
I knew that there was potential for like huge money sponsors back when Anderson had Nike.
Yes,
Bro, that
and
was
John
nice.
Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Burger
Nike.
King.
Like, oh shit, Burger King.
Imagine you get like a Burger King or a McDonald's sponsor on your shorts. You know what I mean?
dope.
Like the money would just be, and especially like I said, like how things are. You guys mentioned earlier how things are like MMA, UFC specifically is like number one by a mile. Those things are gonna start coming in. Like it'll take time. We are so in the infancy in the timeline because like we went from like the Spartans to the Colosseum fighters who were treated like gods, right? And then like that shit kind of went away. Everyone's like, no, fighting's bad, cockfighting's bad. And then all of a sudden everyone's like, oh no, UFC's badass. We like UFC. And now like it's becoming where that is going to be like the NFL, like the athletes are going to be treated like the highest paid in the world, bet more than the boxers. Like that's where the UFC will go. Yeah. Like Conor McGregor already is that guy.
Well, it's definitely mainstream.
For sure. Social media.
Household, UFC's house, got some household names in that. And yeah, it's definitely growing and the most dominant combat sport out there right now.
For sure. We were talking about it before when I'm sure as well when we were all like young and looking at it, it was like underground. We were talking about like jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Like jiu-jitsu was even underground, you know, like people didn't really compete. But nowadays like everyone's kind of into it. You know what I mean? Like
some money.
Yeah, like there's money in it and all the combat sports are getting kind of like the respect that they never got like maybe 20 years ago where everyone's like, you fight people? It's like you're not smart. Like you don't deserve to be around me. It's like you're a human cockfighter. It's like they train it, but now it's like holy fuck, like these are the most famous people on the planet. It's like I want your signature, I want a photo. So the sport is definitely like turning a corner, and it's like gonna be the fucking super sport or the most important sport. Like all the best athletes now are investing in their kids and making them like learn fighting, learn jiu-jitsu, learn how to strike. Not necessarily like, hey, I want you to be a fighter, but just know how. And like see where your career goes. Like maybe you don't make the NFL. It's like, well, you're 265 pounds and you run a 4.4. Maybe you should fight. You know, you hit one person, like you might be the champion in 2 fights. Exactly, so it's like it's just one of those things where you're. I mean, there's a guy. Is he fighting this weekend? I didn't even mention him. Yes, Despagne. I mentioned him to you. This Cuban dude, the Taekwondo gold medalist.
Oh yeah, giant dude.
Yeah.
Like heavyweight, right?
Big. Yeah, 6'5", 6'6", 200. He cuts to 265. I think he has like a total. He's got like 5 wins.
Imagine like Taekwondo, just heavyweight, just doing
with
crazy
footwork
spinning.
and powerful.
Yeah,
I think he has 5 wins. Like don't surpass like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
he just like literally touches them like this, and they just sleep. So he's fighting a Dominican baseball. He was a former pitcher, gone into like boxing and MMA with Cortez Acosta. So that's a banger at heavyweight. We should definitely be checking that one out.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for that fastball.
Sure. Yes, the kinds of athletes, athletes that are coming.
Bro, you never know. Like a former pitcher could have like a
one shot. Like, you're throwing 95 miles an hour. You put that on your face.
Yeah,
it's gonna go to sleep. So yeah, so definitely check out the card this weekend in St. Louis is a good one. Again, thanks again, Puna, for coming on.
Yes, sir.
I think this is our 4th guest. We've kind of mixed it up now. We're trying to...
Man. Stay tuned. Make sure you check out his fight. You want to plug your socials?
Plug your socials.
Sponsors, anything you want to plug in?
I guess Monster. I don't even know my Instagram. It's probably all I'm on. Maybe it's Punahele _Soriano.
Just type his name and he's the only one with that name. So really. You'll find him. But yeah, remember, guys, if you have any questions, we're going to actually, I think, post questions, or at least post our guest maybe a few days before. And if you guys have questions, obviously you're not going to be able to ask questions now for Puna, but in the future, please slide into the DMs on our Instagram page. We just made 1,000 followers.
Let's go.
So thank you guys for following and supporting the page. And if you guys have any insight or guests you'd like to see or things you'd like us to talk about, please give us that insight. Subscribe, share, comment, the whole 9, and give Puna a follow. Let us know what you guys think, and appreciate you guys for tuning in and following us.
Yep, and stay tuned for this episode. Should be dropping in like 1 or 2 days.
Yeah, I mean today is Thursday here. We're hoping it should be out by tomorrow. Homie's heading back to LA to check out Kill Tony live.
Tony, let's go. That's gonna be fucking
sick.
dope. Yeah.
I'm jealous.
I just found out we can't take our phones.
Yeah, they lock them up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's crazy shit, bro.
Yeah, they don't play around.
That's genius, though.
Yeah, that's
so, like,
Joe Rogan, all those dudes at his comedy place, Mothership. They lock up phones.
No funny business.
Yeah, no recording. You can say whatever you want. So it's smart. But have fun with that on Friday, and then hopefully this episode you guys can tune in over the weekend, and then we'll get another guest banging out next week.
Hell yeah!
All right, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a good weekend. Peace.
Man, you guys are good. I'm sorry. That was like...
you're great.
I'm just like a mute.
No, you did great, bro.
Every question was